You've heard that the best money-making method in GTA Online is the Cayo Perico Heist, but you're having trouble completing it. So today, in this video, I will show you the best way to make millions of dollars easily with the Cayo Perico Heist. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So that is right, I am showing you exactly the best way you can make millions of dollars with the Cayo Perico Heist, so it doesn't take up a lot of your time when you try to complete this. Now, currently right now, I'm on a very low-level account. This is a level 14 account, and I just bought the Kasaka on this account. So I have never done a Cayo Perico heist on this account before. I'm going to show you exactly how I set up this heist from the get-go, and I'm doing that so you don't make any mistakes as you go along, because this first mission that we're going to get into is very important on how the rest of this heist is going to go. Oh yeah, but before we actually get into it though, I need to go over something. So right now I'm in the Kasaka. If you don't know what the Kasaka is, it's here on Warstock Cash and Carry. It's this thing right here. It's this big submarine. That's what I'm currently standing in at the moment, and this thing costs $2,200,000. So in order to get this thing, it's going to be a little bit of a hefty purchase, especially as a low level, but you just saw this account. I'm a level 14 on this account. I'm able to purchase the Kasaka as a level 14 on this account because I've done the correct things in order to make money as a low level to get my hands on this Kasaka. But yeah, once I purchase the Kasaka, I haven't purchased anything else with the Kasaka. Now, maybe in the future, I would get the Sparrow just because this will help us travel around the map a lot easier. But for right now, I'm just not even going to use it because we don't technically need it in order to run the Cayo Perico heist. But anyways, yeah, just to sum up what I just said, you need $2,200,000 in order to purchase this thing I'm standing in right now, the Kasaka, in order to start up the Cayo Perico heist. All right, so now we got that out the way. Let's get started with actually what you're supposed to do with the Cayo Perico heist. So first things first, you have to register as a boss. So I'm going to register as a VIP right there. Okay, there we go. Now I can press right on the D-pad and we can actually access this screen. Now, the first mission that we have to do right here is going to be the Gather Intel mission. Now, this Gather Intel mission for the first time we do the Cayo Perico heist is going to be very different than the rest of the Gather Intel missions after the first time you do this. But I'll go over what the Gather Intel mission is going to look like. But later on in this video, I'm going to go over exactly what the Gather Intel mission is going to entail. But currently right now on this account, we have not done a Cayo Perico heist. So we have to do this specific Gather Intel mission. So let's start this mission right here. Now we need to meet Dave and Kinzen Music at the LSIA private terminal. So we're going to need to exit out of our Kasaka and make our way over there to LSIA. Oh yeah, by the way, as we're making our way over to the LSIA private terminal, I just want to show you how much money I have on this account right now. Obviously, I'm a level 14. I spent pretty much all the money that I had to my name to purchase the Kasaka. So right now I have $15,000. Once we do the first Cayo Perico heist, I'm going to show you exactly how much money we have left over. Because yeah, by the end of this video, we're going to have a lot more than $15,000 to our name. All right, so we're finally making our way over to the LSIA private terminal. And pretty much from here, we have to sit through a pretty long cutscene. So essentially, I'll give you kind of the summary of what's going on right here. So fast forward a little bit if you don't want to see spoilers. But essentially, we are going to the island of Cayo Perico undercover. We're going undercover as a tour manager for this guy named Kinzen Music. That pretty much just gives us access to the island of Cayo Perico. And then once we get over to the island of Cayo Perico, we're going to have to go to this little private beach party or whatnot. And once that gets started, we're going to sneak away from that. And then we're going to start scoping out the island. But before we do that, I need to ask you something. Have you spent a long time looking for a terrific server in GTA 5 RP? Well, I have great news for you. Grand RP is the best choice. Developed a massive fleet of cars and a bunch of cool clothes. All of this is collected here. The most important plus is that you can start playing for free in a couple of clicks. The first thing you need to do is follow the link at the top of the description. Then fill out all the fields and create your character. It is essential to register through the site because this way you can get one of 3 premium cars to choose from right at the beginning of the game. The main thing is to not forget to enter my ID in a special field, which will give you a nice bonus in the form of in-game currency, VIP status, and a unique car for a quick start. Recently, there has been a new battle pass on the server, which opens access to exclusive rewards and content. Click the link at the top of the description to join the thousands of people playing the best RP server, Grand RP. Okay, so now what we got to do is we have to take El Rubio and English Dave right here, and we have to go to the beach party, and we have to sit through another long cutscene. So nothing really crazy going on right here. So yeah, just drive to the beach party and just sit back and just enjoy the show pretty much. So yeah, we're about to be able to control our character. And yeah, okay, so we can just we could could hang around and, like, I don't know, dance if we really wanted to, but no, we're not here to dance though. Okay, Pavel just messaged us right there. Captain, I be in touch very soon on radio. You blend in and enjoy party in meantime. It is what it is, Pavel, but I'm just gonna stand off to the side because we're here on a mission. We're here to make dollars. We're here to make millions of dollars, okay? So you see that guard right there? See this guard right here? We have to sneak around this guard. I wish my character had those sunglasses. Okay. So this guard's finally moving, so we just have to wait for him to get out of the middle of this path. So there we go. He just walked past, so now we can walk right past him and we can exit the south gate. And this is where pretty much the gather intel mission really begins. Okay, so we're finally exiting out of the party, and here we go. Okay, so the gather intel mission, this first ever gather intel mission, pretty much what we're gonna have to do is we're just gonna have to walk. Now there is a vehicle right there. There's a vehicle right there, but just very shortly over here, there's a checkpoint that we're going to have to cross, and I'm going to show you exactly how to cross this checkpoint. There's a lot of guards and cameras right here, but look, there's a door right here. You can just walk right through. You can run this way, and there's a guard to our left that could potentially see us, and there's a camera on our right, but I'm just going to run right in between, and no problem. Okay, Pavel's talking right now, but essentially what we need to do is we need to walk to the compound. Yeah, okay, sneak to the entrance of El Rubio's compound. So for the first ever gather intel mission that we do, at this point, I would just rather walk around, to be honest. Okay, so Pavel's talking to us again. So yeah, he's pretty much saying, look, this is going to be the place where we're going to be stealing a bunch of stuff from El Rubio. In order to look at the contents of the safe, though, or exactly where our primary target is for this heist, we cannot actually get inside of the compound. So right now, Pavel's trying to find an access point. He's trying to find an access point so we can actually go ahead and figure out what's our primary target. But essentially, we're trying to find the communications tower, which is this big freaking... Okay, there's grass in the way, so I'm trying to pan to it. Bro, cut your grass, dude. See that big tower right behind me? That's where we're trying to go to. That's where we're trying to go to right here. It's a pretty easy target to spot because, well, it's by far the highest spot. So we pretty much have to go here to figure out what our primary target is. All right, so we need to search for the signal box, and the signal box is going to be this communications tower. So we have to climb up, but yeah, this is a signal box. Now we have to hack into the signal box. This is a good scenario for me to show you exactly how to do this hack. So there's 3 different icons that you can get right here, and pretty much in order to complete this, you're just doing math. So there's 3 different icons on the right hand side, and there's 3 different numbers on the left hand side, and you can click on a number on the left and drag it over to the right. So this icon that the number 5 is going to right now, that pretty much means times 1. So 5 times 1 is 5. But then this icon straight below, the line with 2 dashes through it, that essentially means times 2. So 5 times 2 equals 10. So you can see that result number at the bottom and then our target number up top. We're trying to hit that with these 3 numbers. But this bottom icon right here, the X, this essentially means times 10. So 5 times 10 equals 50. So we want that one. The remaining difference is 9, and we have a 2 and a 5 left. How the hell are we gonna get from 50 to 59 with a 5 and a 2 with a times 1 and a times 2 remaining? Pretty much what we have to do is take this 2 times it. You take 2 times 2, you get 4. So now we have 54. And then you have this 5 right here, and we can times it by 1 for the 5 remaining to get 59. It's a little complicated. I know some people are good at math, some are not good at math. Luckily, I'm pretty good at math, but I mean, hopefully I explained it in a way that can help you out. But essentially, that's what those icons represent. But anyways, that gives us access to the Sightseer app to access the security camera. So let's go ahead and do that. We pull up our phone, we go to this app right here, the Sightseer app, and we have to sit through another little mini cutscene. But essentially, this is proving that El Rubio is a bad person. He's taking this guy right here, this guy in the orange Hawaiian shirt. We just met him when we first landed on the island of Cayo Perico. He worked for El Rubio, and obviously El Rubio is not very happy with him. So what is he gonna do? We're gonna prove that El Rubio is a bad person. El Rubio forces him to get in there with a hungry panther, essentially, and the panther eats him. Yeah, it's pretty miserable. Okay, so after that cutscene, we need to search the cameras to find the Madrazo files. So we're on this camera right here. We just need to keep scrolling right. So this is the courtyard. Yeah, we need to go to the basement. The basement is the one that we want. Now we need to pan the camera from the basement over to the left, and you have this guy right here, and he has the safe opened up, and you can see right there that little tube right there next to those bullets. That that is the Madrazo file. Now, we're going to change the camera 2 more times to the right. This is the basement storage. We're not worried about this since we're doing a solo Cayo Perico heist. Now, this is office cam 1. We're going to just take a look. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's a fingerprint scanner right there. We're going to need to hack that during the heist, but there's a painting right there. That's good to know. That can be used as secondary loot. Let's pan the camera right once again. You see this little frame, this little spot right there where a painting can be. There's no painting right there, so that's a little unfortunate, but that's okay. We have 1 painting. That's good to know. So while we're doing this, we're also trying to find secondary loot because getting secondary loot will get us even more money for multiple reasons, and I'll explain why once we actually make it to the finale. But yeah, right now we're just trying to find secondary loot options since we already know our primary target. But yeah, Pavel wants us to keep scoping out the island a little more. So now Pavel wants us to scope out the North Dock. So right now, obviously I'm on the communication tower, but as we can take a look at the map, we're right here on the island. He wants us to go all the way back up here. That's like all the way on the other side of the island. That's a long ways to go. There's a lot of people we have to pass. There's just a lot. It's just a long distance too we have to travel. But I'm going to skip a lot of that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get up to this railing. We're going to look at this railing. It's a nice railing, right? I mean, maybe a little rusty, but it's okay. It's going to do its job, right? Its job is to hold us as we climb over it and we just fall to our death. Like right there. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to do. You're probably thinking to yourself, Dr. Crush, why the hell did you just do that? That's stupid. No, it's not. It's not stupid, dummy. I just, look at that. Look at that. I died right here. It spawned us right outside this big party that we were at earlier. So now we only have to travel this far. Look at that. Genius. Saved us a lot of time. There we go. Okay, but first things first, Pavel wants a photo of the waterway. So we have to get close to the waterway right here, and we just take a photo. We take a photo, and then we press X to send it to Pavel. I'm playing on Xbox, so I think on PlayStation, that's square. I hope. I don't know. I don't play PlayStation too much, but there we go. Okay, so next thing we need to do is we need to go into this building right here, and there's some secondary loot right here. This is some secondary loot. Now, I'm going to explain to you why in a little bit why we're not going to go to this spot to get this secondary loot, because it's just not going to be as efficient. Okay, so now essentially Pavel wants us to find bolt cutters, but bolt cutters are going to be right here. Bolt cutters are going to be right here next to the dock. So we get close to it. That's a nice photo. That's a beautiful photo of some bolt cutters. So I think that's pretty much it. That's all we have to take a photograph here at the North Dock. I'm never going to come to the North Dock ever again. It's so pointless. It is so pointless. It's not as efficient as the way I'm going to show you. But yeah, anyways, we need to get on this boat right here, this dinghy, and yeah, we're going to get out of here. We're going to get out of here. We're going to continue scoping out the island of Cayo Perico. Okay, so we're making our way over to the main dock. Once again, I'm at this location right here. We need to make it here. We need to take a similar photo to the photo that we did at the North Dock. We just need to get close to this waterway right here, pull out our phone, and take a photo like that, and boom. There you go. It says you scoped an infiltration point, the main dock. That is going to be a lot better than the North Dock. And the reason for that is when we actually start up the Cayo Perico heist, we're going to be spawning in at the main dock, which is going to be a lot better at going to specific locations to get secondary loot and whatnot. And yeah, in order to do that though, we need to actually take a photo of the main dock during the gather intel mission. And that's exactly what I just did. But anyways, the next location that we need to go to is right here near the compound, like right here at this point pretty much. Okay, so you can see that is the compound right here. So now what we need to do is we just need to kind of drive the boat somewhere in here. We don't need to actually like take a photo of anything. So there we go. This is the spot that we actually need to make it to right here. This is the exact spot. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, it says you scoped a compound entry point, the drainage tunnel. You're probably confused right now. You're like, bro, you didn't, what drainage tunnel? Well, the drainage tunnel, here, I'll just jump out and show you, but you don't need to do this when you're doing this gather intel mission. But the drainage tunnel is going to be this tunnel right in here. Yeah, this tunnel. This is the way we're going to be entering the compound during the Cayo Perico heist. Now, like I said, you don't need to do this during this gather intel mission, and I'm about to drown underneath water. Okay, good thing we didn't do that. Okay, but now that's all we have to do as far as like scoping out other main spots. So yeah, we need to make it back over to the airfield, which is right here. So we need to travel all the way back up to the north of the map. Okay, so we've made it over to the airfield. So let's get out. So now at this point, we're going to be trying to scope out some more secondary loot. Now, when we looked at the CCTV, we found some secondary loot within the compound, which is good that we can easily access. But we're going to find some more here at the airstrip. The airstrip is going to be a lot easier to get to, and it will have some better secondary loot anyways. It's saying right now, take a photo of the control tower. We'll do that in a second, but first things first, this little shack right here could have some secondary loot. So we walk in here, and there's a bundle of cash right there. Okay, but anyways, we need to take a photo photo of this once again. Take a photo of this and send it to Pavel. There we go. Good. You see right there, you scoped a secondary target, cash. Now, there's 5 different things of secondary loot. There's cash, grass, cola, painting, and gold. Now, we've already scoped out some grass at the North Dock. We just scoped out some cash there. We scoped out a painting within the compound. There's also cola, if you're catching my drift, and then gold. So essentially, cash is going to be the least valuable. Cash is going to go anywhere between $85,000 and $90,000 of our secondary loot bag, and that'll only take up a quarter of our loot bag. Grass will take up just under $150,000, and it'll take up a third of our loot bag. Cola will take up roughly $220,000 of our loot bag. It'll take up 1/2 of our loot bag. Paintings are worth $189,000, and it takes up, once again, 1/2 of our loot bag. And the value of the gold will be $332,000, and this will take up 2/3 of our bag. Now, gold is the most valuable, but if we do this heist solo, we will not have access to getting gold. So we just have to ignore gold. So that just leaves cash, grass, cola, and paintings. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to go over that because that's kind of important with this heist. But this next spot, though, we need to go to this hangar. We need to go to this hangar to look at some more secondary loot locations. So there's 2 more secondary loot locations right here. So we have 2 things of grass right there. So we need to take a photo of both of these. But then the final loot location is going to be up here. So we climb up this box, we climb up this railing right here. And yeah, there's 2 more loot locations. So it's another thing of grass and another thing of cash. So let's take a photo of both of those just to have on hand. So during the finale, we're going to come up to the airstrip and we're going to be getting all this secondary loot. But there we go. Okay, so now Pavel wants us to take a photo of the control tower. The control tower during our heist isn't really going to matter. Like the way I'm running the heist, the control tower really doesn't matter, but so much. But yeah, let's take a photo of the control tower. Boom, there we go. And yeah, that should be pretty much it with this gather intel mission. That was a lot that we had to do. But yeah, since we got it all the way done now, it's going to make our life a lot easier when we actually do the Cayo Perico heist, since we actually set it up the right way. So we've made it back to our Casaka, so let's go ahead and continue setting up this heist. So we need to go back to our planning screen right here. And in this screen right here, it says Madrazo files located, intel complete. Prep equipment phase now can be initiated. Mandatory prep work must be completed to unlock the finale. So this is the next part where I'm going to explain exactly what we got to do. This tab is still the intel tab. We can go back if we really wanted to the island of Cayo Perico and just scope out more stuff, but obviously we don't need to do that since we already took care of that. So let's scroll over to the prep work. So this is the spot where we can start up the other setups in order to start up the finale. All right, so here we go. We have approach vehicles right here. We have equipment, we have weapon loadout, and we have disruption. Now, approach vehicles, there's 5 different options that we can choose from right now. There's another option we can unlock, but to be honest, we don't care about that one. We have to unlock. Essentially, what we're going to select is the long fin. This is going to be our approach vehicle for this heist. I'm not going to get started on this setup quite yet, though, because I'm going to explain everything else just right now, and then I'll show you exactly what you got to do during these setups. But the approach vehicle is going to be the long fin. But now let's go over to the equipment. So there's 4 different missions under the equipment. You can get demolition charges. You have to go get a safe code. You have to go get a fingerprint cloner, and we have to go get a cutting torch. All of these are labeled as mandatory. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner, it says mandatory. All of them say that. All of them say that, but that is not entirely true. I don't know why they do that. It's kind of silly why they do that. We're going to do 3 out of 4 of these setups because you don't have to do 4 out of 4. So the ones that we are going to do is going to be safe code, fingerprint cloner, and cutting torch. We are not doing demolition charges. But anyways, this mission in particular, we have to go to Vespucci police station. We have to steal a boat. But in order to steal a boat, you can't just, steal a boat off of land just all willy-nilly because, well, you can't escape on a boat on land. You're going to have to, the boat's going to be hooked up on a trailer, and essentially we're going to have to get on a truck cab, and we're going to have to hook up to that trailer, and we're pretty much going to have to take it out that way. Okay, so when you get close to a police station, they'll spot you some truck cab locations. You have 2 truck cabs right here, and then there's one more down here. The individual one is going to be a Phantom Wedge. I personally don't think it's super necessary for this mission. So what I do is I just get a normal truck cab. If you go after the Phantom Wedge, you're going to have to take out a few people. Going to just a normal truck cab, you don't have to take out anyone when you have to get a normal truck cab, but you'll see that in a second. Okay, so here we go. We're about to pull up to the truck cab location. So it's going to be right in here, and there you go. There's 2 truck cabs. We're just gonna steal one. Now, yeah, there's a few people here. There's like one security guard. One security guard's like shooting at me, but like the security guard can't hit a broadside of a barn. So who cares? We're just gonna steal it and drive away. No problem. Okay, so we've made it back to the police station with a truck cab. So what I like to do here is kind of just, I like to position the truck cab like this. We're just gonna back straight up into it. So once you make it inside the police station, you're gonna get the cops on you. You get a 3-star wanted level. And I think I'm gonna die here in a second. Okay, there we go. I hooked up to the trailer though. If I would have done that a little cleaner, I probably wouldn't have died. I could have made it out of there. But yeah, we're gonna have to go back. I'll probably take out a few people. So yeah, I guess. So yeah, we can take out a few cops. It's not a big deal. Okay, so I think I've taken out most everyone except for one. But yeah, the truck cab's already hooked up to the trailer. Now, this is going to be a huge time saver for us. So it says lose the cops. Well, I'm going to lose the cops in a very, very cheesy method. So we're going to drive up on top of this hill. Just drive a little bit away from the police station. We're going to stop the truck right here. We're going to get out. We're going to walk away for a second. And if there's no cops around, I would have just like thrown a grenade down and I would have died. But there's cops like right there, so I'll just let them take me out. Okay, so now we have no cops. We have no cops around us right now. Yeah, pretty much we're not allowed to deliver this long fin if we have the cops on us. So we just need a quick and easy way to lose the cops. And well, that was a pretty easy way. You just let the cops do their thing. All right, so we've made it over to the docks. We are delivering the long fin here. And there we go, heist prep complete. We have our approach vehicle. That's good. Okay, so we're back on the planning screen once again. The approach vehicle, as you know, was just completed. So now let's go ahead and get the equipment. So the next one that we're going to do is going to be the safe code. Now, the first time you do the Cayo Perico heist, we obviously every time steal the Madrazo files. 4 out of 5 of those primary targets is going to have a different setup than the safe code, which hopefully when I show you the next Cayo Perico heist that I'm going to do, I can show you that other setup to really explain how to do that one, even though it's not hard at all. But so for this one, the Madrazo files and for bearer bonds, which is another thing they have to get from the safe within the compound, you have to get a safe code. So if you're doing a Cayo Perico heist, it's not your first time and you see plasma cutter instead of safe code, that's okay. Do that. Yeah, plasma cutter will also be the second one from the top, just like the safe code is right now. But yeah, hopefully I can show you that. All right, so we've made it over to the casino. Let's walk on in. After I do that, then let's walk on in. Okay, so we've made it into the casino now. Are we here to gamble? No, we're here to do a setup. So we need to go to this elevator. Just immediately turn left as you walk in, and then you enter this elevator. All right, so now we're down here in the parking garage. We need to find a yellow car. We need to find a yellow car. There's like 2 yellow cars down here. Okay, usually there's 2. There's only 1, but that's good because we need to find this car right here. This is the car. This is Tom Connor's car. We need to open the trunk. We need to open the trunk, and this will be a master key card that we can use to get into any penthouse. So we have that. Now let's go up to the penthouse floor. So we need to go back in the elevator. We're going to go all the way up to the penthouse floor. They're up at the head. Okay, so here we go. We are at the penthouse floor. So now we need to kind of just run around. We need to try to find the exact penthouse that these guys are going to be in, and a huge indicator will be 2 security guards right out front. So obviously we need to take those security guards out. Now we need to head inside of this penthouse. Okay, so we're in the penthouse now. This guy, he'll either be in one of 3 different locations. I'll show every single location, but okay, this guy's shooting me, bro. First location is gonna be right over here. There he is. Okay, I died. I took out the guy that had the safe kids, which is good. Every time you die though, you spawn outside of the penthouse, so you're gonna have to sit through that cutscene, that small little cutscene to get back in the penthouse. But yeah, we walk in, you take a left. There's 2 people. So yeah, the head of security was in this room. This is one location you could be in. I'll go to the other locations after I pick up the safe code. All right, so the other 2 locations where the safe code can be, one location is gonna be all the way down this way. I got another guy. He'll be at the end of this bar, like probably where I'm aiming right now is pretty much where he would be. All right, so I just died. Okay, I don't think it's gonna let me back in. Can it let me back in? Yeah, no, okay. So fortunately, I was not able to show you that last location, but just to kind of give you a rough idea, if it's not in any of those 2 locations I just showed you, as you walk into that penthouse, you need to take a right. It's gonna be somewhere that way instead of going left like how I did. But anyways, we need to exit the casino now. So just walk out right here, and now we just have to lose the cops. There's no special method to lose the cops with this setup, but yeah, just lose the cops normally. It's not a big deal. Okay, there we go. All we had to do is just lose the cops, and then the heist prep is complete. So I'm gonna head back to our Kasadkas to start up the next prep work mission. Okay, let's get into the next equipment setup right here. So we just did safe code. Now it's time for us to get fingerprint cloner. And this is going to be an important part of the heist finale too. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's go get that fingerprint cloner. So we need to head over to a warehouse. So I got to drive all the way there. Okay, so we've made it over to the warehouse. That warehouse is going to be right here. There's 2 security cameras right out front. For this spot, we don't really care about the security cameras because we're going to have to take out a few people anyways once we get inside. So we're inside now. There's 4 people we got to take out. So we just have to easily take them out. Okay, there we go. All of them are taken out. Now we need to go over to this computer. Okay, then we have to do this hack. You have to time up the red letters as they enter this blue line. Okay, there we go. And that pretty much is locating the archive. We came to this warehouse to locate an archive where our fingerprint cloner is going to be at. So we have to exit this warehouse and we have to get back in our vehicle. And now we have to go to the archive. Okay, so here we go. We've made it over to the archive. This particular one is underneath the pier. So these security cameras, though, I prefer to take these out. So just shoot them and they'll just fall over like that. There we go. So now we can sneak into the archive. And pretty much what we got to do is just run all the way back of this archive. And it's going to be in this particular location. You just kind of have to walk around like these tables. And yeah, once you get somewhat close to it, it'll say you've collected the fingerprint cloner. Nothing really crazy going on here. So now we can exit the archive, and now all we have to do is just deliver the fingerprint cloner back to the Casaca and we'll be good to go. All right, there we go. Fingerprint cloner has been delivered. Okay, once again, we're back at the planning screen. So there's one more equipment setup that we're gonna do. Like I said, it's going to be the cutting torch setup. Let's start that up, and we have to go to a construction site. All right, so we've made it over to the construction site. Let's get out of our vehicle right here. Now, before we actually walk into the construction site though, let's head this way, and right here is going to be a hard hat. Let's go equip this hard hat, and now we can walk right past a lot of these guys and no one will suspect a thing. Yeah, we need to search toolboxes, and well, luckily the game makes it pretty easy to find toolboxes because you can see right there they have a green arrow pointing exactly where these toolboxes are, and they also make it easy once you actually find the cutting torch because the cutting torch is bright blue. Pretty obvious when you find a cutting torch, but that toolbox didn't have one, and we strike out and miss right there. Here's another one. There it is. See, this thing is so blue. It's so, like, you know it once you see it. So there we go. Okay, and sometimes this happens. When we lean down, somehow our hard hat fell off. And yeah, everyone is pissed off when you don't have a hard hat on. Deliver the cutting torch back to the Casaca. There might be some enemies coming after us, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. We're in at least I'm driving a Duke of Death right now. If you have a Sparrow, you can just easily fly away. No big problem at all. Okay, there we go. We have delivered the cutting torch back to our Casaca, so heist prep is complete. So that means we have one more setup that we have to do, and we have to go get our weapon loadout. Now, like I said, we are going to get the aggressor weapon loadout. Now, you can also get suppressors too. Do not pay for this, even though it's $5,000. Don't pay for this. We can get this for absolutely free. So anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and let's get the aggressor weapon loadout. Now, we're looking for something that doesn't say Merryweather HQ. And look at that. It says Merryweather HQ. We don't want that. We don't want that. That is a very, very long setup mission. It is very boring. Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm sorry. We're just not doing that one. So just jump to a new session. Essentially, with that mission, you would have to go over to the Merryweather dock down at Elysian Island, and you would have to follow this helicopter all the way across the map to a certain location. Then you got to take out like 20 people, something like that. And then you go inside of an Avenger just to pick up a weapon loadout. And then at that point, you have to deliver the weapons back to your Casaca. It's annoying. It's annoying, bro. But yeah, we're looking for something that doesn't say Merryweather HQ. There's 2 different types of missions you can get. That one that I just explained, and then the one that we're gonna do. See, okay, that doesn't say Merryweather HQ. That's good. That is 707 Vespucci. Okay, so we're back on our planning screen right here, and it says mandatory prep work complete, finale access granted. Planning phase can now be initiated to increase chance of success. Continue scoping for additional intel, which we're not doing. Complete optional prep work, which we're not doing because that's going to be a waste of time. So yeah, we're pretty much what they said. We're ready to go if we want to, which obviously we want to because we want this to take as little time as possible. So we need to go to the finale screen right here. We need to scroll down to start. All right, so we need to click start right here, and then you can invite other people to this heist if you want to, but I just showed you the best way to set up this heist as a solo heist. It's a little bit different if you want to do a multiplayer Cayo Perico heist, but right now, we just want to do the solo. We want to do the solo, so yep, we're just going in all by myself. And then we're back on this screen right here. So approach vehicle. So this is how we're going to actually do this Cayo Perico heist. So the approach vehicle, we obviously did a setup called the long fin setup. So our approach vehicle is the long fin. Now our infiltration point, this goes back to why we photographed the main dock. Because if we didn't photograph the main dock, we wouldn't have this option. We would have only been able to have done the north dock, which is a little bit more annoying. The main dock is a lot quicker. So us driving all the way there allows us to actually go ahead and do the main dock. So yeah, let's select main dock there. Now the compound entry point, we just drove our boat all the way down to the outside of the compound so we can scope out the drainage tunnel. So that is going to be our compound entry point. Our escape point does not matter. Just follow exactly what I do to escape the island of Cayo Perico. But anyways, on this screen right here, you can select whatever you want. So I'm just going to select airstrip, even though we're not getting anywhere near the airstrip. Now the time of day, you can do this at night to make it even easier for yourself, but you don't even have to use that though if you don't want to with the method that I'm about to show you. Now let's go to weapon loadout real quick. Now obviously we have the aggressor weapon loadout. So obviously we didn't pay for suppressors, but we can get them for free. You just have to press the A button twice, 1, 2, and there you go. We just have suppressors on our weapon. That was the reasoning why we scoped out the island the way we did, and that is why we set up the heist the way that we did. So yeah, we're ready to go with the Cayo Perico heist. Let's go park our boat somewhere in here. That's not what I wanted. Okay, anyways, let's get off the boat right here. Now we need to take out 2 people. Even though this person that I'm taking out right here, that is where you want to take out that person, by the way. Okay, but this is the other guy we need to take out. So wait for him to stop. There we go. Easy shot. Now we can enter this hangar, and this is where we're going to get our secondary loot. But that's only for this heist. Now, when you do this heist again, it can change up. That other location might have some better loot. But as I said before, the cash is the least valuable. The grass is like the next most. And then like paintings is like the next worst. And then it's grass. And then it's cola. We didn't get any cola, so you don't know what it looks like. But it's just a bunch of silver bars is what it kind of looks like. We're going to need to take this forklift. We're going to have to pick up this pallet of boxes. We're going to have to turn around. I kind of park this right in there. We're going to have to climb up on this forklift, climb up on the boxes to then climb right there. And now we can enter this little spot. We can't enter that spot along that other chain link fence right there. We have to enter through here because this is the gate. But anyways, yeah, there's another thing of grass right here. So let's collect it, and this should fill up our loot bag in its entirety. So now we can head over to El Rubio's compound. So we're just gonna have to run up all the way to our boat, which our boat is still very close. Sometimes it might drift away, so you might have to swim a little bit, but luckily for us, it's still very, very close because, well, I almost beached this thing. But yeah, we're back in the long fin. Let's go to El Rubio's compound. But here we are. We're at the drainage tunnel. So now we just need to cut the grate. So what I like to do is just hold it over these green little bars right here. I think that's slightly quicker than going back and forth if you're accurate with it. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Just cut it open. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Okay, there we go. The grate has been cut open. So now we just need to swim to the end of this drainage tunnel. All right, here we go. We are inside the compound. Now follow exactly the way that I go because I'm about to run through this very quickly. So walk up these stairs and then immediately take a left right here. Walk through here. Walk under this passageway. Take a left right here. Now we're going to climb over this ledge. Now there's a guard looking straight ahead where I want to run. He just turned around. That's good. The guard that I'm talking about is that guard right here. He's walking away. That's good. Now, there's a guard right here. Smack him in the back of the head, and now he's dead. Now we need to climb up here, and there's a guard right here. Smack him in the back of the head. That's good. And we picked up gate keys. That's also good. But anyways, we're inside of his compound. Now, there's a secret safe. There's literally a secret safe. This is the secret safe right here, similar to the gun locker. You just get up to the safe, press up on the wall, and look at that. There's some cash in there. And that was like, what, $75,000 roughly? That's good. We could do the fingerprint cloner right here. We can do that, but But since we have gate keys, I'm going to show you a different spot. Now we have to make sure that guard isn't really looking. So yeah, that guard isn't looking at all. So we want to come down here, and yeah, we can get into this spot with the gate keys, which is going to make things a little bit easier. So we're going to go down here. There's another fingerprint cloner right here, but this fingerprint cloner is going to be a little bit easier than that other one back upstairs in that room. And that's all you have to do with that. Now, if we did that other fingerprint cloner hack, then we'd have to done that 3 times. But since we came down here with the gate keys, we only had to do it once, which is good. Now let's go ahead and get the Madrazo files. So we have to cut open this with the cutting torch, which isn't bad at all. And Pavel is going to send us a safe code, 858493. So we're going to have to put that in right here. There we go. We've opened up the safe. We've grabbed that tube, which contains the Madrazo files. Now let's escape the compound. So we're going to leave the way we came in, go out this way. We're going to walk out this spot. Now we're going to walk over here, and we're going to get right here, and we're going to press X or square. If you're on PlayStation, you can climb up there. Now, essentially, we want to exit right there. We're just going to wait for that guard to get out the way. We're not going to risk it at all. If we don't have to kill people during the Cayo Perico heist, we're not going to. Because if you kill someone during the Cayo Perico heist and someone else sees that dead body, then they'll alert all the alarms. So now we're going to run this way. And there's going to be one guard right here in front of a bike. We're going to take out that guard, and we're going to get on this bike. Then we're going to take this bike, and we're going to drive this way. I want to drive this way, cut over this path, and then drive to the end of this peninsula. So kind of be careful when you drive through here. There's some greenery. There's some things that you can run into like that. That's a good example of running into things. That I'm glad I put that in the video. Way to go, Dr. Crush, you moron. Okay, and then we just jump off here. But now I have a little momentum because, well, I ran into something. But ideally, you would have a lot of momentum and you could just easily just fly off into the distance. Press left on the D-pad once again to equip rebreathers. You can see that in the bottom right-hand corner. It would just swim away from the island. So there we go. The screen's about to fade and boom, there you go. Cayo Perico heist has been completed. Now, this is going to be the first ever Cayo Perico heist I'm doing on this account. So you're going to be seeing a very different payday than what you would normally see. All right, but there we go. Heist has been passed. All right, so we have a potential take of almost 5 million, but our actual take, what we got is $1,491,000, and that's after the fees and everything. But anyways, let's get into the elite challenge. We were under 15 minutes, even though I was explaining everything. Didn't fail a hack. Our secondary loot bags was completely full, and we get an extra $50,000 off of that, which is very, very nice. So in total, we made $1,541,000. But since this is the first time that we did it, the story does not end there. We're still making even more money than that. Okay, so there we go. Let's pay attention to the top right-hand corner of the screen. There's nothing happening in the top right-hand corner of the screen until now. Look at all that money that just came in. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of first-time bonuses with the Cayo Perico heist. So what I'm going to do now, though, just to kind of set your expectations more realistically, is I'm going to do a Cayo Perico heist on an account that I've done a Cayo Perico heist on before, and I'll pretty much show you the ins and outs on how to do the Cayo Perico heist after you've done it a first time, because it's going to be slightly different, and especially too if you get that one setup that's not the safe code. Okay, so now I'm on a different account. I'm on an account where obviously I have done a Cayo Perico heist like a lot of times, so we're going to go ahead and show you exactly how to do a Cayo Perico heist after you've done it for the first time. All right, so let's go back to the planning screen right here. Let's press right on the D-pad, and immediately you get this screen now. After you do it for the first time, when you start up another Cayo Perico heist, you get this screen. Now, after we've done it for the first time, the setup cost for the Cayo Perico heist is $100,000, which is very, very steep. But still, at the end of the day, we're going to be making at least $1 million. So we're still going to be profiting pretty good. So do you wish to proceed? Of course. Of course we do. All right, and yeah, so same as before, we're going to start up the gather intel mission, but I'm going to go over this gather intel mission because this one is going to be completely different than the other gather intel mission. That one we had to sneak to the island of Cayo Perico as a tour manager for Kinza Music. This time around, we're going to be sneaking to the island of Cayo Perico as a smuggler. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's gather intel. So we take out that guy right there, and we pretty much need to get into the Vellum. All right, and now we need to fly all the way over to Cayo Perico. Now, we're not actually just flying all the way from this location to Cayo Perico. We're going to fly to the most southern point of the map in GTA Online, and then at that point, we'll just teleport all the way over to Cayo Perico. But yeah, anyways, we just have to follow this yellow dot on the mini-map right here all the way to Cayo Perico. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get this bike. We're going to get this bike right here, and you need to follow exactly the route that I'm going to take. So go over here, and by the way, we're trying to go to that communications tower again. Yeah, follow the exact route that I'm taking. I'm kind of going right through here. I'm gonna hang a left right here. We're gonna hit this hill. Gonna jump. There's some Jersey wall. Barely cleared it. That's good. Now we're gonna go right through here. Make sure we don't run into any trees. Now this part is important. So we're at the checkpoint. It's to our right, but we're gonna go around it. We're gonna jump it right here. Make sure you hit this spot. You jump over and boom. There you go. You're on the other side. You didn't have to sneak through any checkpoints, anything like that. There's a guard that's about to cross the road right here. You can see it right there in that vehicle. Wait for him to get a little bit a ways away. I'm hitting a rock. I'm hitting a rock. Okay. Now crossing the road. Like I said, same concept. We want to make sure we are not on the road for that long if we have to. So here are the communications tower. Now we need to try to find the signal box. Now this time around for the Cayo Perico heist, during the gather intel mission, the signal box is going to be in different spots. Now, at this point, we don't know exactly where the signal box is. It could still only be one set of ladders up, but it's not. It would be, instead of the location over here, this is where it was the first time. It's never going to be in that location ever again, but it would be right here. But it's obviously not here, so we have to climb up another ladder. So you have to go around here and climb up. So we're here, and the next location it could be would be at this spot right here, but obviously it's not here. All right, I can hear it now. I can hear the little buzzing. Yeah, it's all the way up at the top. I mean, bro, how lucky were we? Anyways, yeah, let's go ahead. Let's do that hack again. Okay, so I did that hack. Let's once again go to the Sightseer app, and same thing as before. We're gonna go all the way over to the basement. We're gonna go to the basement camera, and we're gonna pan to our left. And oh, are you freaking kidding me, bro? I want to show the other. Well, this is not what I really wanted, I'm gonna be honest. So I'm not gonna be able to show the setup that y'all missed, but our primary target is going to be bearer bonds. Bearer bonds is pretty good. I like bearer bonds. All right, now it says continue scoping the island or return to Los Santos. So what we're going to do, same thing as before. We're just going to jump off. Get a little parachute. That's cool. Doesn't matter. We're not pulling a parachute. We're just going to splat. Now, why are we just splatting to our death? Because we spawn all the way back here at the airfield. So what we're going to do now is we're going to continue scoping the island for secondary loot. So I'm going to go into this hangar right here. We're going to go to the same locations as before. Oh yeah, and here we go. This is what cola looks like. So right here is grass, but right over here is cola. You got these like silver bricks right here. So we're going to take a photo of that. Going to send it to Pavel. And that's what we want. That's good. That's good for a solo Cayo Perico heist. But yeah, it says it right there. You scoped a secondary target, and it's what I call cola. You can call it what it says right there. But yeah, I'm going to take a photo of the rest of the secondary targets. All right, so I scoped out everything on the island. So let's go ahead and let's return to Los Santos. So to return to Los Santos this time around, wait a minute. I just thought of something. I'm being stupid. You can return to Los Santos right here, or you can save even more time. Now, this is a weird thing. You might think that this would fail the missions, but it doesn't. It doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause. We're going to go to online. We're going to go down to new session, and we're going to join a different session. I'm going to join the invite only session. And now we are spawning all the way back at our Kasatka. And that's really weird. I'm going to be honest. That little trick that I showed is very weird, that the fact that it's in the game, because a lot of missions, if you do that, then it won't count as you completing it. But for this mission, for whatever reason, it counts as you completing it. So that'll save you like a little bit of time. So yeah, gather intel mission is complete. So now we get the prep work screen right here. So how we are running this heist is completely the same, but I'm going to come back after we complete it and show you exactly how much money we make. So yeah, let me go ahead and complete this thing. All right, so we just completed another Cayo Perico heist. This time around, we don't get a long cutscene. We just get this cutscene right here where we give the duffel bag to this guy. He gives us an envelope, but then there we go. We get this screen saying heist passed. All right, so what is our actual take gonna be? Our actual take is gonna be $1,083,000. But once again, we still completed the elite challenge. Did it right around 10 minutes, like I said, even though I feel like I didn't do this as quick as I should have, but still, right at 10 minutes, like I said earlier. Get the elite challenge. So in total, we made $1,133,000. This is gonna be what it's gonna be like every time you do the Cayo Perico heist from here on out after the first time you do it. Unless if you get the pink diamond. If you get the pink diamond, you are in luck because you're going to get paid more money. You'll get paid something like 1.3, 1.4 million in total. But for every other primary target, so that includes Sensimito Tequila, Ruby Necklace, and Bearer Bonds, you're going to get roughly $1.1 million. Now, you got to remember, we invested $100,000 to start up the Cayo Perico heist. So in total, we are start profiting roughly $1,033,000. But that's going to be my guide on how to complete the Cayo Perico heist. So if you follow exactly what I did, you should be able to complete the Cayo Perico heist easily. That is why I created this video, is to help y'all get some more money, because like I said, it's embarrassing for you to be broke at this point in GTA Online. But anyways, make sure you check out this video right here if you want to see me start out as a level 1 in a bad sport lobby in GTA Online.